This is the Voice of the Land podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
The team in this city that gets all the conversations for the most part, Cleveland Browns. And we're all fans. I mean, I'm still going to wear my gear. You know,
That's a nice hoodie, too, by the way. I like
Solid,
that.
yeah.
It's from GV Artwork.
Okay.
I love those guys. I mean, I know that they caught some flack for that when Freddie was wearing that Pittsburgh started shirt. They were the ones that created that. But
It's like the worst shirt I've ever seen. I hate
Really,
that shirt
I have
so
that
much.
shirt. My
Do you?
brother bought it for me for Christmas. And
Yeah.
I wear it sometimes.
Yeah.
That was a terrible situation. But one thing it definitely did was start the rivalry back with the Steelers. So that's the little bit of good that came out.
Yeah, two brothers that are really good artists, do a lot of good stuff for the community too. And just I've always gone there and gotten product from there. People buy me gifts from there. So that's kind of more of the Cleveland gear that I have than going to like Dick's Sporting Goods or like one of those big retail stores.
As I'm wearing the homage Cleveland Force shirt.
I love
right
that
up his
shirt.
alley. Right up
I love
Kevin's
that
alley.
shirt because I was always going to Crunch games, Force games as a kid. That was best times of my life as a soccer fan to be able to go to indoor soccer games. But with football, of course, and not knowing where this team is really going now, you had all this hype last year, and now this offseason, it's what's going to happen. Is Kevin Stefanski going to be able to be that leader and not be a friend to these guys? Will Baker take those steps forward? What are you looking for, and what are your kind of like early preseason predictions on the direction that this team is really going to go, what they're going to be?
I've been so beat down by the Browns that I was always the guy. I think they could go 10-6. I think they can make the playoffs. I'm not that guy. Not this year.
No.
We'll see, which is a terrible answer to give. But
Sports talk radio.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. I do like Kevin Stefanski. Comes across as a polished guy, and seems like a leader of men and all of this other stuff. I'm intrigued to find out what he can do. What I do like is there aren't, at this moment, and there will be once the draft and free agency happens, but there aren't any of their guys on this roster. They're not tied to anybody.
Right.
So they're going to come in, they'll evaluate everyone, and I don't care if you were a high draft pick or not, they are not tied to you. So that there's some built-in motivation for the guys that are on this team because it's like, hey, there are no allies right now, for lack of a better term. Andrew Berry, right? I think he's a really, really nice guy. Just really looking at what he did, at being so young and being a general manager or executive vice president of football operations, whatever the title is. I think that's great. He's a smart guy. I just have to see because I'm done trusting.
Right.
I'm done trusting these guys are going to do this, they're going to do that. Now, they have all the tools that they need to be successful on offense and defense. Maybe you need to upgrade on the line a little bit. I'm not as crazy.
You're not that hell-bent on that getting that offensive tackle at 10.
I'm not. Not at 10. You know what? Do something in free agency and if the tackle is the best player at 10, then take him. I don't care, but I'm not going to force a tackle. If there's a playmaker there at safety or at linebacker, I want guys that are going to make plays. Sorry, offensive linemen.
Right.
Sorry, I apologize.
You're not Andrew Thomas over Isaiah Simmons. You're not that guy.
Right? No, not at all. Not at all. I'd be furious if something like
if that was available.
Right, I would be furious. So that I'm intrigued. I'm sure I'll be excited as soon as training camp starts and I walk out there to cover practice. I'm sure
that's the way this town goes.
I say it all the time. It only takes a first down. Right, I
That's
mean,
right.
figuratively, right? It just all you need is some positive to happen after the draft, right? After the draft, who knows? Or free agency, then you go oh man, they signed this guy. Oh, okay. Oh, they made a trade for this guy. Then next thing you know, I probably will be right back in there with everybody else because I'm a Browns fan, just like everyone else in Cleveland. So I'm waiting to see, and if they do it right, they'll be successful. If they don't, they won't be.
Yeah, this Browns team broke me last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the moment we got Odell, you and I were on the radio, or I mean, you and I were doing this podcast, and I was saying, Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, we can totally go. We got the talent. We got this.
Right.
I believed in Freddie Kitchens. I mean, there were
I was
many.
the same way.
Mhm.
I was on ESPN radio saying that, right?
Yeah.
Right. I was on
That's
Sarah
true.
Spain, on Spain and Company.
Yep.
They called me as soon as the news broke, and I'm like, oh man, it's get ready for Cleveland. It's about to go crazy.
Right.
Wrong.
6-10. Yeah.
Wrong.
I think that this team absolutely broke my heart last year because we were saying 10-6, 11-5. And now, 6-10, happens. And to me, they are a 6-10 team until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
It's just how it's exactly what they are. I am starting to like Kevin Stefanski. I think that we upgraded, from head coaches because we got bumbling Freddie, to Kevin Stefanski, Harvard bound and very smart, intelligent guy. But that playoff game that he had against the 49ers, I know it's the Niners defense and they obliterated
everybody
us.
look bad for the most
they
part.
obliterated us last year, as a Browns fan. But it's just such a bad feeling, that bad taste in my mouth that I don't think that we're going to get out until September 9th or whatever.
What did it for me is the John Dorsey thing, because John Dorsey
broke the camel's back,
talent, right? And then for them to go like, okay, we don't want you to be the GM anymore. We want you to be a glorified scout. And I understand him saying no. That wasn't the contract that I signed.
He has in the NFL? No.
So in that I just was like, I get it. I could watch the team on the field and understand why maybe you moved on from Freddie Kitchens. I love reasonable people, right? If you make a reasonable move, okay, I can live with it whether I agree with it or not. But then you basically force John Dorsey out, and after that, I was like, you just don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
no idea.
It is a cop-out answer to say like wait and see, but Paulus and I have talked about it all the time. Is now you have to show us. You can't just say it. We can listen to all the press conferences we want. You can say all the right things. You can say all the cliches to get people on your side until you show it on the field and have sustained success. At this point, just like you, I'm not gonna just blindly trust because we love the Browns. We have to see it. We're still going to be Browns fans no matter what because that's what we do.
It's in the blood.
It's in the blood.
They put it in the babies.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's what they do.
They do something to the babies.